We are going to kick off with a phenomenal, a power duo, a C-level, just, a brainstorm, a glimpse into the future. We're going to get the chief executive opinion from two legends of iGaming. They need no introduction, but I'm going to welcome them on stage anyway. They're going to explore an in-depth discussion around M&A, consolidation, and regulation. I can't think of two better people to kick off day 2 of iGaming Next. I am, of course, going to introduce to the stage the chairman of Green Jade Games, Jesper Kärrbrink, and the CEO of Betsson AB and iGaming Idol Hall of Famer, Pontus Lindwall. Please welcome Jesper and Pontus. Tack så mycket.
Thank you. Tack. Fantastic introduction. Thanks a lot.
Fantastic.
Yes, we are pleased to be here and lovely to see you all here. Pontus.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Sharp mind in a sharp dress. In a sharp suit. Sorry, my broken English.
Thank you.
No, it's fun to be here. And we heard Oysen kind of give the headlights of this one. But I want to start to talk a bit about something even more interesting, and that would be you. Hall of Famer, an industry veteran.
Yes.
And both you and I we have a love and a passion for this industry, and you even published this on your corporate website.
Yeah.
So why the love of the industry?
Because I've been working in this industry all my life, and I never had a boring day so far. So, I got the question a couple of days ago, why do you still work?
Yeah.
And it was like, it's so fun, so I don't want to quit.
Cool. Not everyone can put that on their tick that list or tick that box, because it's an amazing feeling to have.
Yeah. And why is it so fun? I think it's because new things happen all the time.
Exactly.
They may not always be good or entertaining, but it's challenges, and I like that.
Yeah, I agree. It's also it's a stigmatized industry. You have to be sharp to kind of navigate in all the goods and bads of the industry, and I think that's what makes it so interesting and so fascinating as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. And a bit more about you. You basically, and this is interesting because we're coming to a strategic discussion here. You're basically born into the industry.
Yes, my father was one of the 4 founders of Cherry, which was a privately owned gaming company in Sweden. So I grew up with gaming, but during that time, I was 100% sure that I was not going to work within gaming.
Of course, your parents did, or your father did, so you can't do that. But then, and this is interesting. This was a classic retail brick and mortar casino company, doing table games, roulette, and blackjacks in restaurants and such like that, having a corner of the regulated gaming market. Mm. And then, end 90s, this company first acquires Net Entertainment, which we know today as NetEnt.
Yeah.
And then Betsson.
Yeah.
And you were working, as many of us at that time, at Kinnevik, and part of founding NetEnt. Yeah. And how did this happen? I have this view that you on a Christmas dinner, a bit tipsy, was telling the older generation that, come on, guys, you have to kind of move into the millennia with some digital assets. Or what happened here? Tell us. Because in hindsight, it's a brilliant strategic move.
Yeah, it turned out to be. I was studying at the Technical University. I understood the internet and its potential quite early, and after examen, I decided to do something within internet. And as I had grown up within gambling, after looking at several industries, I still decided to do gambling, disregarding what I had promised myself earlier. But I did that outside of Cherry, of the regulated company. But I had Cherry as an investor, and I had Kinnevik, as you mentioned, as an investor. And Cherry at the time, parts of their board didn't like this at all, because they were profit-making, but I was loss-making in the same pace. So whatever krona they earned, they had to put it into my business, which they called the kindergarten, because I was playing around with computers and losing money. But I had one supporter in the board who thought that, digital gaming is going to happen. So that helped me a lot.
Okay, so basically we have to thank this guy on the board. I don't know who it is, but we have to thank
Per
him.
Hamberg.
It's Per Hamberg. Okay, nice. So Per, a big thank you to you, because that created NetEnt, and it basically also created the part of this industry, because Betsson was one of the first ones to really enter the iGaming market with some power in Sweden.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you have been the CEO since that, basically, and at some point you and I met.
Yeah.
We were combatants. We were enemies.
We were enemies, not on a personal level, I would say, but on a idealistic level.
Yes. I was the defender of the monopoly, and
not only a defender, you were the CEO of the monopoly.
I was the CEO of the monopoly, and you together with Douglas Rose and
Unibet guys.
And Unibet guys, exactly. They were kind of pissing in my tent all the time. It was 3 against 1.
That we did because we were, not very appreciated in the market by the monopoly company, and we wanted to fight back because we thought that we have a place in this market as well. I started to send letters to the Department of Finance, Department of Justice, and of course they had a little bit of a tough time to handle that. When I asked them, where is Viking Lotto arranged? I mean, they sell it here in Sweden. As far as I know, the draw is in Norway.
It is.
And it became complicated.
Yes.
So we were a little bit, a pain.
You were a pain in the ass, definitely. And you started a betting shop.
Yes.
Totally illegal, in my point of view, at that point, at that time.
We opened a betting shop in the center of Stockholm, and we said, this is not a betting shop, it's an internet cafe, but there was some branding in there, of course. And the gaming authority of Sweden came there the first day. It went on TV, everything, and they said this is not legal. And I was actually detained to the police house, and questioned.
And I was doing this. Yes.
Yeah.
No, and then Petter Nylander was arrested by the French police.
Yeah.
What did you think at that time?
Actually, it scared me a bit because he was out traveling and he was detained in, I think, in
a couple of days.
In Netherlands and brought to France.
Yes, exactly. And they booked him.
Yeah.
Put him in a prison.
Yeah. Yeah, that scared me.
Yeah, I can totally understand that.
Yeah.
I was laughing. No, cool. Now this is interesting. And then you were chairman for the company while Ulrik was the CEO. And then when Ulrik left, you're back as CEO again?
Yes, I worked as a chairman for a while. I thought that was a natural step to take, a little bit stepping down in activity. I can't say it was the right move for me to make.
No, it's quite boring.
It's boring.
Yes. Sorry to say for all chairmen, it's boring.
It was more boring than being the CEO, because being the CEO, I was in the activity and the action every day, and I kind of liked that. But still, I was the chairman for a few years.
Yeah. And then back as CEO, and then suddenly we read in Dagens Industri that you're fired one morning. Like, what happened here? And that's a special session. I need to kind of speak with Patrick about what went through his brain there. But you're fired, and then back again 2 weeks later with the help of your mother.
Yeah, that's a little bit of simplification, that it was my mother that brought me back. But,
I think it's quite cute.
Story is, I came back as CEO 2017. Company was not doing really well. No. I think we put a good team in place, and I started to get the company back on track. We did a big program actually named Back on Track, and we were performing well. So that was 2017. 2021, we had just published our best report ever. Everything was going really nice, and the chairman steps into my room, and we had a meeting to discuss an upcoming strategy meeting. Yeah. And I went, this is what I'm going to present. This is what it looks like. And he was, hold on. I have something else to tell you. Okay, you're fired. And I was like, what?
Can you imagine?
He said it again, you're fired. And I was like, why is that? We have just put the best quarter in there, and I have all these projects going. I have the best team in the world, we're on a good ride here. Yeah, but you know, I think it's better to change the CEO when the company is doing well, and we need some fresh blood, and you know. So I asked him, did you talk to the shareholders of this about this? Because the major shareholders has been with the company since its inception. It's a family-run business, and he was like, no, you know, the board is independent, and we don't need to talk to the shareholders.
Ooh,
and I was like, but then I'm going to talk to the shareholders, which I did.
Happens to be your mother.
Which happens to be my mother, one of them.
Yes.
But then there are these families which has been very loyal to the company. And, you know, fact is like this. I don't have a problem to leave my job. If I thought that I was not good in that position, I would have done that. So we had, you know, a different opinion on the situation. But I respect his, you know, decision, but I don't want to...
But not the consequences of it.
Exactly, and I didn't want to contribute to that, because I thought that we were doing well and that we are on a good track. So, you know, I said, okay, we have different opinions. I'm going to stand up for my opinion.
Good.
And then I had a lot of support from the industry, outside the company, of course, from the company. And there was a little bit of a struggle. And I think he felt that maybe the outcome of his decision was a little bit not what he expected, and he left. Yeah. And then there was an extra shareholders meeting, and some of the board members also left.
Turmoil, but it came out well, and I totally understand what you did, and that's also part of why you are likable as an industry person. When you stand up for your things, and as you said, if that would have been the right move, you would have accepted it.
I would, and I can't say it wasn't the right move he did. Only thing is, I didn't think it was the right move.
Absolutely.
So we never know which was the right move. But you have to stand up for what you believe in, and that's what I did.
Cool, good. So back a bit to strategy and looking into the future. If the family business back in the 90s saw this as a challenge to be bricks and mortar for the rest of their life and wanted to go into the digital, what's Betsson's strategic challenges today?
The challenges for the industry, I think, which has been mentioned in this conference many times, the kind of over-regulation that we see in parts of Europe, and Europe being the home territory for this industry, actually, and where we see that established companies like ourselves and many others with very high ambitions are getting pushed out of the market, and there are other companies working from other territories that takes a bigger part of the market. That's, of course, a big challenge. So the strategy for Betsson is to being a commercial company, to put the money where we see fruitful business. We have made a move a couple of years ago towards more Latin America and some eastern parts of Europe, where we put more of our efforts, and we have taken a step back in the more in the bigger Western European countries, which we find as over-regulated. Challenges for the future, I think we see big shifts coming up. I think a big part of this conference has been around what's going on in Web 3.3 and metaverse and crypto and things like that. How that is going to impact the industry, that's something that we will have to follow closely in the next coming years.
Yes. So basically, the two disrupting factors here, and one is a negative disruption, and that is the overregulation. It's per definition disrupting an entire industry. And the other disruption might come from the technology that we don't really grasp today, like when we kind of went online in the early millennia.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I see. I see what's happening now in that area is that some people, they say like, yeah, you know, the crypto world, it's like a totally different world. There are no rules, there are no boundaries, there are no nations. Okay, that reminds me about internet in the late 90s. That was exactly the same.
You had the same argument.
This happens again, but 20, 25 years later. But then you know that regulators will catch up, and the society will have to catch up. So it's only for a short while.
My guess is it's not crypto that will be the disruptor. It will be an iteration of we will use crypto and blockchain as a technology, but it will not disrupt in itself. It will be something else. We are a bit tight on time, and Pontus will rush from here in 5 minutes to catch a flight back to Sweden. So we're gonna keep that one. So I have some more. I would like to have your view on the skewed ecosystem we have, where and I say this sitting on the provider side, so my provider colleagues might not like me, but a really good game provider could have an EBITDA margin of 50% today, while you're fighting for 15%.
Yeah.
And you take the risk with the regulators, you take the risk with the market.
Yeah, we're on the front line.
You're on the front line. Yeah. So, and on top of that, we have an amazing company in Evolution, and perhaps about to be too amazing with, I mean, they stand for like 40, 50, soon 60% of your revenue. Is Betsson becoming a marketeer for Evolution? Will this be sustainable?
For everybody to know, I have been on several shares in many years, and that has worked out fine, because I was the CEO of Betsson. I was on the board of NetEnt, which I founded. Yeah. And, you know, so I know these both.
I'm not criticizing Evolution here, because what they're doing is amazing, but it creates a skewed ecosystem.
Yeah, and they acquired NetEnt, so I'm a shareholder of Evolution, not a big one, but still. What they have done, the Evolution guys, they have built an amazing product.
Yes.
Not only an amazing product, but an amazing organization, which has taken them to this strong market position that they have. If you ask me as an operator, it's not good to have a single supplier market, which we don't have, because from Betsson we have Playtech, we also have Playtech games, and we have other providers as well. But your question is this a sound situation, and is it sustainable? I think they are, Evolution, in a very good position in the market. They have managed so far to invest and, you know, kind of strengthen their position.
Yes.
There are many others who want to get into that very lucrative market. Over time, I think they will not be alone in that market. There will come others.
And I see a small shift there. I also see that more and more operators are kind of building their own game studios and to kind of get a bit larger part of the. I mean, if you take the Danish operator Sego, they are producing all their 80% of the revenue comes from the in-house made games. Their EBITDA margin is 50%. 50. They an operator. They have 50% EBITDA margin. So is this a trend we see here? More and more operators also investing in their own game studios because they have the players.
It's definitely a trend that we see.
Yes.
I have been convinced all my life that, you know, the operators will not have the capacity to produce high quality games in the same way as Evolution and NetEnt and Red Tiger and these guys. But maybe I will have to revisit that opinion, because what we see happening now is that some operators, they produce good content, and it's of course it's that can be an important part of a strategy.
Yeah. Exactly. Good. So we have 2.5 minutes remaining here, and then you have to leave. And I have one final question. I mean, there's been an acquisition spree here from big US-based casinos buying European iGaming companies. I mean, Mr. Green was acquired by William Hill, and William Hill was acquired by Caesars. Yeah. We saw MGM acquiring Leo Vegas, etc., etc. Why has no one acquired the likes of Betsson and Kindred? Are you too big? Are you too difficult to work with? Are you too bad?
We are not difficult to work with.
No, I know you're not.
You should know that.
I know that.
I think there has been interest in those companies. Of course, some of the US companies that has looked into this industry, they want to have fully locally regulated revenues. It's not a secret that Betsson and Kindred, and also actually Leo Vegas, had revenues from Norway, which is not locally regulated, but regulated under Maltese regulatory framework. So that
and disputed, heavily disputed.
And disputed, yes, by Norway.
By Norway.
Then, in the case of Betsson, I think everybody knows that we have quite a strong foundation of founding families that has shares that have strong voting power. Yes. So if we should sell,
The price has to be really good.
The price has to be really good.
Yeah. And as always, when you are listed, you are undervalued.
Yeah, you are, but that's actually the case. No, that's a joke. But as always, when you are listed, you're for sale. If you are not for sale, you shouldn't put out your company on the stock market. So that's true.
Yeah, good. And I am happy to say that I give you 35 seconds more to get to your cab. And I could have sit here the full day to talk to Pontus. You're such a nice guy, and you are a true legend in this industry. So we could talk about a lot of things, but I want you to be on that flight as well. So thanks a lot.
Thank you, Jesper.
Pleasure.
Nice one.
And thanks for listening.
Everybody. Thank you.